What is going on, squad? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives Make Money on the Internet podcast. It's your boy, Brian Mark. And in today's episode, I'm joined by one of my Rockstar Millionaire Mastermind students. His name is Mr. David Getz. He is the Fit Over 50 man on Instagram. He's jacked as fuck and he's natural and he's just a good overall dude. What's up, David?
Living the dream, my friend. You? Thanks for having me here.
Of course, bro. Best day of my life. So let's give the audience a little bit of a backstory because, well, first things first, my audience loves hearing from successful online fitness coaches. So what's your Instagram, David, so my audience can creep you?
Fit Over 50 man.
Fit Over 50 man. All right. So we got the Fit Over 50 man here. Why don't we start with your backstory, David? So obviously right now when people go to your Instagram, they see you've got over 70,000 followers. They're going to see a guy that's got his stuff together. Give me a little bit of a backstory. Who was, the Fit Over 50 man? Who was David Getz before you got into online coaching?
It's actually a funny story because I was the Fit Over 40 man.
That's fucking funny.
When I was 48, actually,
48.
no, I think I was 49 at the time. And my coworker who became my boss said I should really go after the over 50 crowd because I'm going to be 50 this year. And I'm like totally jacked. And it's like, man, I don't want to be associated with a 50-year-old. But then the more I thought of it, I thought, you know what, that actually would be a good play, like Fit Over 50 man.
Yeah.
So I went on Instagram and nobody had the handle. So I took it and then I disabled because I was posting content at Fit Over 40 man. But I did disable it, and I think Nick Conway picked it up, or maybe somebody else picked it up. But yeah, that is where Fit Over 50 man came from. So my boss gave me the idea, and it was quite funny because that was what allowed me to excel and quit my job. So when I started posting on social media, it was like 5 years ago. Like I'm just coming up now on 3 years being in the your ecosystem. But when I started posting on social media 5 years ago, I had been in network marketing for most of my life, not really succeeding, but had gone to event after event after event and seen Tony Robbins and Les Browns. And for the last 30 years, that was what was basically, it was like a 30-year personal development experience. And it really led to getting very comfortable jobs. I mean, working from home in a sales career, it was very easy, making six-figure incomes, but I wanted more. And it was a pure fluke. Couple of things why I started posting on social media. I heard somebody who was very successful at teaching network marketing saying that you need to start posting on TikTok if you want to make an impact. And I rolled my eyes, really TikTok? Oh my God. I made fun of my wife showing me these dumb TikTok videos. And it's I would never do that.
You and me both.
This guy who's a multimillionaire said, you got to start posting on TikTok. And I thought, man, is this what it's come to? I'm going to start posting on TikTok. And that's what really got me into social media. So wasn't even doing anything on Instagram 5 years ago. Started posting on TikTok, not even thinking about personal training. And this guy reached out to me from Seattle because I was growing my Fit Over 50 man on TikTok and said, hey, have you ever thought about, doing personal training before? And even though I had my personal training certification when I turned 47, I didn't really plan on working with people because again, my vision of personal training is stuck in a gym all day. Yeah. And that's the last thing I wanted to do because I already had a level of freedom. So I don't know how, maybe it's your phone listens to you, but as soon as he said personal training, I just said, no, I don't want to be stuck in a gym all day. And I swear literally the next day I saw an ad from you. Who's this Brian Merck guy?
That's fucking funny.
And funny, I even joined one of your free master classes. And this is 3.5 years ago about this is what you need to do to get clients, reach out to these people. I didn't have any clients. So I was I'm not going to do this stuff. So I just said, no way, I'm not doing that. But then I started binging your podcast. Yeah. And I had a trip from Vancouver to Castlegar, which, was a freaking 8-hour drive. Yeah. So I literally was binging your content. And it's I was vibrating. And I thought maybe I could try this on my own. And I had downloaded a Trainerize. And I thought, okay, this is way too complex. And then, listening to what you talked about, hiring a mentor really is saving you time and saving you money. So I thought, you know what? I want to see if this guy, is as real in person as you're portraying yourself to, who you are in your podcast. Because everything you were saying, the mindset and the motivation, I resonated with. I was man, because that's what I've been learning the last 30 years is the mindset. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to just for luck or whatever, I'm going to drop into your gym because I'm literally driving right by it. And you were there. I was wow, I can't believe he's actually here because again, I wanted to see if you were real, not a real person, but if you were the same off camera as you were in person. And lo and behold, you were. So I think that was really what sealed the deal, is working with you is like, man, this guy's legit. Like, he's the real deal. And then obviously, hearing the success stories of people making $50,000 a month as personal trainers. And that like totally blew my mind. Like, how are these guys making $50,000 a month and up to $100,000 a month as online coaches? And I just could not wrap my head around it as a business model.
I just want to cut you off here. You know, it's fucking crazy.
What's that?
Now you're that guy on the podcast.
Yeah, it is.
Now you're the guy. What was your record breaking month?
60,000.
$60,000. Now you're that fucking guy on my podcast that's making $60,000 a month, and people are gonna be like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Crazy what the last 3 years has gone through, for sure. So yeah, dropped in to see you there at your Iron Energy gym, which that was a pretty amazing experience. And then that's kind of my backstory. So
crazy. It's just crazy to me to consider the fact that that was literally like you were the guy listening to the podcast, and I know there's people listening to this podcast right now. They're like, "There's no fucking way," and here you are. You were one of those guys that said it's no fucking way, and now you're the guy that's on the podcast. Yeah, that's fucking cool. So you've been through everything, bro. You joined the CLA. I actually think you went straight from the CLA to the $1 Million Mastermind. So you joined the CLA, then you went to the $1 Million Mastermind. It is what happened, because I remember when you signed up, it was like you were doing like 15 to 20K a month, and you DM'd me and you're like, "I don't want to start right now, but I want to start in January, and I'm going to pay right now because I want to start in January." So I remember that conversation.
Yeah.
So you've been to the CLA, you've been to the $1 Million Mastermind, your record breaking month was $60,000. I would love to have a conversation with you about like these events, because one of the things that you kind of like had ingrained in you from, basically your 30 years in network marketing, which I didn't know, that's really cool. But the idea of going to events, you had the benefit of knowing what events do before you even came into Pizza Domination. Whereas a lot of people don't have that benefit of knowing what events do, because a lot of people don't have the background that you did of going to personal development events and working on yourself and blah, 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 blah. So like knowing what you do about events and being to all the events that you've been to, like what was it for you that made you absolutely say yes to coming to the Pizza Domination events when you knew that we were hosting them?
So I always live by this philosophy. And again, this is from the last 30 years, is you become like the people that you associate with on a regular basis, who you listen to, who you hang around with. And listening to audios and reading books will only take you so far. And when you actually are in the same room, in the same environment of other people who are where you want to be, who are doing better than you, you cannot help but grow. Like it's just not possible. So it's kind of like when I met you for the first time, like it kind of sealed the deal. It's one thing to hear you speak. When you actually see you in person and talk to you, it's like, man, this guy, like he puts his pants on the same way as me. Like he's like, why can't I do what he did? So listening to audios, listening to podcasts will only take you so far, but being in a room, being in an environment with other winners, people that are where you want to be, will elevate your mindset and belief like 10 times what listening to any podcast will do, 10 times what reading any book, 10 times what joining any lives will do. So, you get an opportunity to be around, you get to see the people that you're aspiring to be, and you'll see they're just real people. They're just like you.
Yeah.
They just were on that path a little bit longer than you. And that's all you need to do. Yellow brick road.
I think the idea of osmosis, I talk about that all the time. Like when you're around other people that have the same goals, dreams, and aspirations that you do, and just being in that environment by itself charges you, because most people in their entire life just don't have, like, if you think about online coaching is kind of a lonely journey, because if you think about like being a personal trainer in a gym, it's not really a lonely journey, because you have the other personal trainers that are there, you got the gym staff that are there, you got all the clients that come to the gym. So it's like, it's not really a lonely journey when you're doing in-person training, because you've got everybody that's there doing it with you. But when you're doing an online coaching job, it's like you're literally by yourself all day with your fucking Zoom, your DMs on Instagram, with your content creation. Maybe you spend time with a videographer if you have the luxury of being able to afford it, but like it's literally you by yourself on this fucking journey. And I think that being around other people that are not only where you want to be, but even people that are aspiring to climb to that level, that by itself charges you. But then I think the real value of things like this, and this is why I believe in events, this is why we host them, this is why I'm inviting you to come to the event. I think the real value is when you're in the same room as other people that are doing better than you, and you literally just have instant access to them. Like you can be like, "Hey, David, like you're making 60,000, I'm making 3,000. What do you see in my Instagram?" All of a sudden, boom, instant access to somebody that's like 10 times farther than you. And that by itself, I think, is so valuable. It's crazy for me though, because you actually brought your son to one of our events, which I thought was really fucking cool. and you believed in it so much that you brought your son. Talk to me a little bit about why you did that. And how old is your
So
son? Just so everybody knows.
so my son Ryan, he is 21, and yes, he was doing some VA work with me
Yep.
initially. So I took him to the event, and even when I took him to the event, he had already started to excel in his sales career. So I knew it wasn't going to be from like he's going to be helping me with my business, but I simply wanted him to get around bigger thinkers and
Mm.
leaders like you and Cole, just purely for what you just talked about, the osmosis and being around people that are doing better than you. It doesn't matter what the industry is. If you get around people that are excelling, you cannot help but pick up their habits, pick up their thought processes, pick up their mindset. So he got a ton out of it. And he's not even like, he's not doing what I'm doing. Like he's not helping me because, as I said, he's excelling in his tech sales right now. But that's why I wanted it. And I believe anybody, you know, will get value 100% if they go to a, you know, function, an event like yours, like anybody's, Tony Robbins, whatever, because it expands your mind. It expands your mind into the possibilities of what you can do, what you can accomplish. And, you know, that you need to stop putting limitations on yourself because these people are just regular people.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you talked about, you can actually talk to them. And not only that, they want to help you. Like
Yeah.
when I'm at the event and someone comes up to me and talks to me, like I want to help them like get to the next level. So don't be afraid to go up and talk to somebody.
Yeah. So basically, if you're listening to this fucking podcast, get your ass to the event. DM me event on Instagram. We can have a conversation. You can also tap the link in the description of this video to come to the event. But I want to go a little bit deeper with your story, David, because I want to give my podcast audience some turbo value. You said you had a 6-figure corporate job.
Yep.
And you were doing really well in it. And you know, now obviously with your online coaching business, you're making more money. What do you think were, you know, 2 or 3 of the things that you did, that you focused on that allowed you to have, you know, the financial ability to be able to walk away from your corporate job? Like, what do you think in your business were some things that you ended up doing that really caused you to succeed? Because there's people in the audience right now that like want to make more money, but they don't know what to focus on. They don't know what they should be spending time on. So like for you personally, what were some of the things that you did that allowed you to start exceeding in your income?
Number one, content.
Hmm.
And it was funny because when I started with you, all of my what do you call it, business came from TikTok.
Hmm.
And I had an Instagram profile like forever, just like anybody does. And at the time I had like 900 Instagram followers. And I had the belief that my Instagram, it's a dead account because I've had it forever. And like, I post, but nothing is happening. And then, you know, through going through content audits with Cole.
For those of
And
you guys that don't know what content audits is, Cole will literally rip your content or shreds for 2 hours. It's fucking hilarious. Anyways, continue.
so, yeah, I got into kind of an argument with Cole about content. And you know what?
I would hear about these arguments. He would call me after content audits. It's fucking funny that you're talking about this.
Yes. So, and it was about compare-itis. I was comparing myself to somebody else. It's like, why is this guy like blowing up because it's content? I don't think it's any good. And anyway, I just really started to focus on doing what I could do. And then like I went from, this was 2023 in March. I was like getting close to 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm almost at 1,000 followers. This is so exciting. Literally in March, I gained 30,000 followers in 1 month. It was like, holy fuck. I went from like 900 followers to 32,000 followers. And it really showed me the power of Instagram and the quality of the leads on Instagram
Versus
versus
TikTok.
TikTok, because it was like, holy
Significant.
shit.
Yeah.
My inbox was flooded with type form applications filled out. And that's when I actually hit 10,000. That's when I was like, Jesus, it was a cool experience.
Yeah.
And
I
but
bet
that
you
was
those
it.
conversations with Cole went a lot better once you realized that. I'm like, oh shit, he actually knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Exactly.
You're like, okay, I'll shut up and listen now.
So content is everything. But then, you know, after my account blew up, I didn't know what to do with all the leads.
Yeah.
So meaning I stopped posting content. So my account just kind of stalled at 32,000. And then the end of 2023, I started posting again, like on a regular basis, because I really didn't post anything for like 3 months,
Yeah.
just kind of plateauing. And then it started growing again. And then just this past year, I mean, I'm up to 95,000 followers now.
Oh,
Now,
crazy.
yeah, my content's been growing like crazy. Awesome. So I've got my sights set on 100,000 in the next couple of weeks.
Crazy. So a couple of questions that I want to ask you in regards to So first things is because, there's some people who listen to my podcast that might be, 40 plus, 50 plus, whatever. What are your thoughts and what do you got to say to the person that's, 40 plus, 50 plus in the audience that's like, I'm too fucking old for this content shit. And like, I don't want to post on Instagram. Like, I want to grow an online business, but I don't want to post on Instagram. And this is like too much for me. Cause I get that. Like, there's people that come into my like ecosystem that are like, oh yeah, I want to be an online coach, but I don't want to post content.
Give your head a shake. Like this is it's a business. This is marketing. That's all that it is. Like we're personal trainers, but we're really in a marketing business. And what better platform where you can actually market yourself for free?
Yes.
It's crazy. You can
Yes.
make and you know what? People say I'm no good at content. Well, you have to be willing to be bad to be good. You're never going to get
Yes.
good unless you're willing to be bad. And it's
Yes.
free. Like you don't have to pay for it. If you look at traditional business, they spend millions of dollars on advertising. You don't have to spend a dime and you can make $1 million a year income.
Yeah. You make $60,000 a month like you're fucking making.
Yeah,
That's fucking
exactly.
crazy. All right. So that's amazing. I love it. I want to give one piece of like specific, if you could give some David Getz value on like, okay, you went from 900 followers to 95,000 followers. Give me one tactical thing that you do with your content that if people started doing, they'd start seeing better results.
That is a great question because I think I still have a lot to learn with
Totally.
content.
But you grew by 90,000 followers. You know something.
Yes. So, I mean, you've talked about this so many times is, don't reinvent the wheel. Look at what's going viral and duplicate it. Don't steal it, but duplicate it for your avatar in your own words, in your own language. So that's the biggest thing is I look at what's working, what other creators have done, and then I duplicate it for my avatar. I don't steal the words that they're using, but I look at what worked for them and I create it for my own avatar. And it's been working like crazy.
I love that. How do you find ideas that you can get inspiration from? Because that's a lot of things that people are like, okay, that's cool, but how do I find ideas? How do you personally find those ideas?
Very easy. You just go to Instagram and you type in, fitness over 40 men or over 50 men or fitness over 50, and it'll actually show you the top viral videos. And you just scroll through them and you see which ones that you like, that you resonate with, and that you can duplicate. Again, not steal, but duplicate for your avatar. And I got a bunch of them I saved yesterday. It's like, holy fuck, that's really good.
You know what people are going to do? They're going to go to your Instagram account and start recreating your shit.
And the funny thing is,
do it.
exactly. I don't mind when people steal my stuff because it's a form of
Flattery.
I take it as a compliment. Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? Because one of the other things, and I was very stupid about this in the beginning, is when I blew up, when I gained 30,000 followers, it was like from a video, but what I eat in a day. I didn't repost that shit. Like I thought, oh, I'm not going to repost this. I've already posted it. Like I didn't repost anything for like a year. It's like
Crazy.
going back now, it's like, man, I should have kept on reposting that content. So now, like, if I have a video that's going viral, it's like, man, I'll repost it every 2 weeks. I'll change the thumbnail. It's like, fuck. And I just, some basic things, like even like text on screen, I have no idea why it goes viral, but it does. And I just keep on reposting it and just keeps bringing me in new followers. It's crazy.
I love that for us. Okay. And then if you had to summarize in one sentence why you believe people should come to the Pizza Domination All Access event in August, what would it be?
Man, oh man, you will be forced to grow being in an environment of winners, people that are at a higher level than you. You cannot help but grow. You could go there and cover your ears the whole time, and your mind, just from seeing the success, your mind will expand. Even just not hearing it, but seeing what's available, the potential, and seeing the people and seeing that this is real. You just have to duplicate success habits, and you can get the results you're after. You can get your dream life.
And then let's do one final message to the podcast audience that might be struggling to grow their coaching business. And maybe let's speak to the old version of you that was listening to these podcasts that were like consuming the content, it's valuable, but you're just kind of in this place where you don't really know what to do with your business. Give me one final, message of inspiration for those people.
Man, that's a tough one because I knew from day one, like when I signed up with you, I wanted to be in the $1 million mastermind right away. Like, it's like, how do I get to the million? Like the first event that I went to, I literally just got started and it was like, how do I get into the $1 million? Like, can I go to the $1 million mastermind? I didn't realize it was like another whole nother group. I just thought I want to be in the $1 million mastermind. So I didn't really have any struggle because there was so much example of success. Like when you surround yourself with successful people and you see and you listen and you duplicate what they do, you will get the same result. period. It's all about learning, adapting, and getting better. So, and again, maybe that was a benefit that I had coming in, is I already had the belief. I already knew I could do it. I just didn't know how long it was going to take me
Yeah.
and how to do it. But you put together such an amazing program system that anybody that joins, if they do the work, and now you have to get better. Like, it's not just doing the work. You have to focus on constantly getting better. You will succeed. Like, that's about it. I mean, again, I didn't have any doubt. I still don't have any doubt. Like, I know I said to you when I first met you, you know what? I want to build the Fit Over 50 Man brand, and I'm going to be pulling in at least $100,000 a month from, coaching, from brand deals, from whatever. And I still, like, that's where I'm headed. It's hard for me to say, what do I do in the beginning, because I had the belief from the beginning. So, if somebody is just looking at getting started with you, or even considering going to the event, like, you just got to take it on faith that this is the real deal. You got to get around other people who are doing better at you than you are in the same arena, and you cannot help but grow. Like, you just got to surround yourself with them and believe that you can. Because I heard this saying a long time ago, but you try to convince me why you can't succeed. Tell me why you can't. If you think you can't make this work, convince me why I can't think of. You're not going to be able to convince me, because I believe in human potential.
I agree. I fuck with that statement. Well, it was great. 10 out of 10 interview, Mr. Fit Over 50 Man. Thank you so much. If my audience wants to find you again, where would be some places that they should go consume your content?
Instagram is my number one platform. So it's just Fit Over 50 Man. I mean, I just repost the same content on other platforms. So Instagram would be the place to go. Fit Over 50 Man, not spelled out 50, but just Fit Over 50 Man.
Boom. All right, guys, that's it. That's all. I hope you guys all have the best of your entire lives. Thank you so much for being in my audience. If you haven't gotten a fucking event ticket yet, do it. We are selling out. We only have 48 spots left. This isn't a sales tactic. We are going to sell out. We always fucking do. So grab your ticket in the description of this video. Hope you guys have the best of your entire life. Peace. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at TheRealBrianMark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.